Hey, you're listening to Stop the Scroll, a social media marketing podcast, and I'm your host, Heidi Schmidt. I'm a social media strategist and agency owner with over 15 years of marketing experiences helping businesses grow online. We'll be diving into what you need to know so that you can show up confidently online without the overwhelm. Get your notebook ready to jot down some amazing marketing gems, and let's dive into it. All right, welcome back to another episode of Stop the Scroll. Today, we're talking about one of my favorite subject matters, which is email marketing. You know, it's really funny because for someone who has built a business on social media largely, I flipping love email marketing. Because here's the thing, and I have said this before, I'm sure I've talked about this on episodes past. If Instagram shut down tomorrow, how do you talk to your audience? Not just Instagram, but like Facebook. We've seen the whole back and forth about TikTok. Like, how do you talk to your audience if these rented platforms go away? For a long time, and you know, I talk to business owners about this a lot because they come to me for social media help, but algorithms change, platforms have breakdowns, and attention spans are shrinking. So what do you do? How do you keep your audience engaged? And ultimately, you know, when we think about marketing as a whole funnel, social media is really, and you know, this is the exception, not the rule. There are certainly ways to convert your audience on social media, like Instagram stories, ManyChat, all of those things, all of those tools. But ultimately, it's still a rented platform. So there is one consistent, high-converting platform that allows you to really connect with your audience and convert them with a very high ROI. And that platform, my friends, is email. So earlier this year, I had said that I wanted to do a newsletter. It was in my strategy session with my business coach last year. Like, I want to do a newsletter. I want to have a way that's written, because I love to write, that connects with my audience. And plus, I know that I get better results when I show up consistently on email. Up until earlier this year, I had been super inconsistent about email marketing. Super inconsistent. But email has always given me the best results. So consider this. Here's a little stat for you. I've got a couple of them. Email marketing has an average ROI of about $36 to $45 for every $1 that's spent. Higher than any other digital marketing channel. Social media straight up probably doesn't even come close. Unlike social media, which we've already established is rented space, your email list is owned by you. You're not renting it. No one else controls it. You control who hears from you, when they hear from you, and what you say. You're building a direct line to people who have already raised their hand, who are like, yeah, I want to chat with you. I want to hear more about what you have to say. Here's another wild statistic. 99% of email users check their inbox every single day. I mean, I don't know about you, but I probably check it once an hour. I don't know. Some days when I'm in the zone, maybe it's a little bit less. But email has a way more staying power than like a 5 to 15 second reel. And it's personal. Your email is going to show up next to messages from friends, families, coworkers, which is really, really a sacred space when we think about it. There used to be a saying in marketing that giving your email is like currency. People want to hear from you. When they give you their email address, if we think about all the people that we give our email address to on a daily basis, whether it's for like rewards points or a discount or a doctor's office, whatever it is, you are giving them access to you and your inbox. So I recently was listening to a podcast with Amy Porterfield and a guy named Jay Schwedelson. If you're in the marketing world, you probably know who Jay Schwedelson is, but I am a huge fan. I saw him speak at Inbound a couple of years ago, which is the big marketing conference led by HubSpot. I have been a total of 3, maybe 4 times in my career, which is by far one of my favorite conferences. I'm not going this year because it's in San Francisco and cannot do 2 West Coast trips in the span of less than a year. So maybe next year when it's back in Boston, hopefully I'll get to go. We'll see. also really depends for me on the programming, because last time I went, program was kind of meh. So anyhow, Jay Schwedelson was having a conversation with Amy Porterfield, and if I can find the episode, I will link to it, about personalized newsletters. What do I mean by personalized? I mean, it's more like a letter of me to you. It has value to it. And if you're on my email list, which I'm going to drop the link in the show notes to sign up for my email newsletter, I have started sending, and I do this for a client of mine, and she has notoriously said that every time I send an email for her, she gets a discovery call. When you personalize it, when you're not just selling, and I'm going to talk about that in a couple of minutes, you build that connection, especially if you know your audience and you know their pain points and you know what they need from you, which is something that I break down with my clients in our strategy sessions. That all translates not just into your social media content, but also your email content. Email can be educational, it can be valuable, it can be entertaining, but you want it to speak to them. And ultimately, you do, just FYI, you should have some sort of call to action in there, whether it's driving traffic to your website, whether it's encouraging signups for a workshop. Not everything needs to be super promotional. You can sell an email without being sleazy. In fact, people who subscribe to your email, they probably expect to hear from your offers. They might not be ready to buy from you or to work with you, but they want to hear about what you have to offer them, how you can help them. 60% of consumers have said that they've made a purchase because of a marketing email. But the key is, how do you do that without being sleazy or smarmy, right? Well, you have to think relationship first and revenue second. When I graduated from college, those of you who know me, and I've probably mentioned it here on the podcast, I went to Northeastern University. And I remember before senior week, when we graduated, I graduated in 2006 because I went to a 5-year program because I did 3 semesters of co-op. I want to say it was the VP of Alumni Services said to us at a reception, you have to make friends before you make funds. And that's why they do the whole senior week. And that's why they have all sorts of alumni programming, which if you listen and which I don't know how many other Northeastern grads out there are listening to my podcast. I hope many of you, I don't know. But there is a DC reception in early June that I am excited to go to, because friends before funds, if I'm going to keep giving to my university, which I give a small amount each year, I am a part of the Loyalty Society. Not going to lie and say that I'm giving them hundreds of dollars. I'm not. Usually it's just me buying, whatever new pint glass set they release that's, causing me to be nostalgic for my Wonder years. But the point is here, even in your email marketing, because ultimately, when you think about alumni associations, they are marketing to you as alumni, and they know that the alumni network is their biggest marketing asset, not just because, universities have this goal of raising money to keep themselves going and to provide scholarships and all those things, but also to recruit new students, right? The best way to do that is, we know in marketing, the best way to recruit a new customer is by retaining a current customer. So if you keep your alumni happy, right, they're going to give more and feel connected to the network and all those fun things. Anyhow, I've gotten a little off track. The point is you have to add value. You have to make friends with your audience first. So relationship first, revenue second. So how do you, newsletters aside, and I'll tell you the structure of my newsletter, and I try to send it out twice a month. How do you do that without burning out your list? And Jay Schwedelson said in this episode with Amy Porterfield that there's no such thing as emailing your list too often. And I often have this discussion with clients is, how often is too often? How close together is too close together? I don't think there's any such thing. Honestly, I don't. I have had clients who have emailed every day leading up to launches. I have had clients who have emailed twice a month or once a month. The point being, with a newsletter specifically, not promotional emails, not emails promoting your content, whatever, is to be consistent. How do you do that? Well, for your newsletter, you're going to choose your frequency, whatever it is that you can stay consistent with. When we write promotional emails that we want to convert, you're going to tell a story. Because here's the thing, our marketing is not about us. What problem are you trying to solve? What inspired you to create this offer, to create this piece of content? Tell the story. Create urgency, but not pressure. So, for instance, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my masterclass, which it is going to be a masterclass. I've gone back and forth on masterclass versus membership. It's a beta thing. It's going to be a masterclass. It's going to be 3 to 4 months. I'm still trying to figure that all out. I think 3 months. And it's going to go kind of into planning our Q4 content. So it's going to be a summer thing and all that fun stuff. But anyhow, I want to create urgency, but not pressure. I'm only going to have 10 spots for this thing. So I'm going to say that warmly. Hey, there's only 10 spots for my masterclass so that you get, high exposure to me. I don't want to be stretched thin so that I don't help everyone, but I'm not going to create panic. You want your emails to be skimmable. You want to lead with a strong hook, just like your social media content. I say that social media content is ripe for repurposing to emails, especially like the long posts that you tend to put or like the carousels. Those are great to repurpose to email, my friends. Use a strong hook, use headlines, use bullet points, make the CTA button, like whatever action you want people to take, they should be able to tell what that action is. There should be a clear call to action. I'm not just opening up emails for the sake of opening them. Usually it's a subject line that hooks us in and gets us to open. That's kind of like the engagement metric there. Open rates and click rates. I know there is an issue with all of that also because there's just not, with all the privacy measures and blah, 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 like it can be really hard to actually measure click rates. So take them with a grain of salt. Promotional emails, these are part of our relationship with our audience because ultimately we're not just collecting email addresses to collect email addresses, right? As business owners, we have goals. We have business goals. And every action that we take for marketing, whether it's email, whether it's a blog, whether it's a podcast, whether it's yada, yada, we are doing that to drive towards our overall business goals. Marketing isn't sales, mind you. We are driving to generate leads. Or if you don't have a sales team, maybe they're sales. Maybe if people can directly book with you, like that's their thing. We want to be able to ultimately convert our audience. And there's a whole other, maybe this is an episode for another time about knowing our conversion rates, of our emails that we sent, how many calls do we get from that, blah, blah, blah. Like we can track all that. But it's a whole other topic. So like any email, even with our newsletters, we want it to be skimmable. We want to teach something, maybe give a tip. For me, like I have my kind of intro section, which is more like a letter. It's almost like blog post-esque, but not a little more personable. Something relevant, maybe a conversation that I've had recently with a client that's like, oh my God, I got to talk about this. That I try to teach something or promote like an upcoming workshop or something like that. So can you teach something? Can you give a tip? Can you entertain your audience? Use short paragraphs, all those things. Our attention spans are short. So we want to break up our content, add headlines, bullets, break it all up. I want to be able to skim this thing. And there's somewhere out there is a statistic about how many people skim emails. Like I was hoping to find a metric, but some email platforms do give you that metric of the percentage of people that skimmed, that read the whole thing. And they can tell the skimming based on the amount of time that it takes you to scroll from the top to the bottom. So depending on what email platform you use, I use ConvertKit, linked in the show notes. Mine does not say that. And maybe there's, I don't know, I can probably do a little bit of a deeper dive, but whatever. Some email platforms I do know have that. So yeah, about those calls to action, like make sure every email, even a newsletter, should have a next step. Even if it's just like a hit reply and tell me your thoughts or read this blog post, whatever it is, like it should have some sort of next step that you want your audience to take. And it's kind of like I heard on this podcast with Amy Porterfield that Jay Schwedelson said, like, don't overthink your frequency. Consistency over quantity, quality over quantity always. If you can only send one email a month, that's fine. That's totally fine. Show up when you say you will. I'm behind on my newsletter. I'm not going to lie. One's coming out the week that I'm recording this. But, there was a moment in time a couple of years ago, and I just ended my engagement with this one client, but they came to me. They were on my email list. Her and I had a discovery call years ago, like months before. I let go of an hourly client and I sent an email that week, and I forget what the email even said, but she set up a discovery call. We chatted, I sent her a contract, and boom, she was a client. And we worked together for over 2 years. She was an amazing client, but the economy is kind of trash right now because the dumpster fire that we're living in, and people are uncertain. And, this is why I am creating my masterclass, because I know that a lot of businesses are scaling back. And when they scale back, the first thing to get cut is marketing. But I don't want businesses or business owners to feel like they can't invest in their marketing. So that's why I'm creating this masterclass, so that if you cannot invest in marketing, you can invest in this and learn how to do your marketing better. More about that later. The waitlist will be linked in the show notes. So how do you set up your newsletter if you don't have one? If you don't have email set up, like, one, let's chat. Oh my goodness, everyone should have an email list these days. The 3 beginner-friendly options that ChatGPT recommended to me. ConvertKit. I really love ConvertKit. I know a lot of people use Flowdesk. Flowdesk emails are very visually pleasing. They have gorgeous design templates. There's also MailerLite. MailerLite has a great free plan, easy automations, all those fun things. I also do really like MailChimp. Many of my clients use MailChimp. I've also used Kajabi. I've used, HubSpot. I've used pretty much every email platform out there in some way, shape, or form. So pick your platform. Next, you got to get people to sign up. Where do you get people to sign up? 1, you create a lead magnet, whether it's a checklist, a guide, a free class, curated resource list, whatever it is. Add value. Add a form to your website. 1, even if you don't have a lead magnet yet, like, have a form on your website. Hey, I want to hear from you. Because there's always going to be those people that do want to hear from you. Your lead magnet does not need to be fancy. I recently had a conversation with someone who was just like, just put your lead magnet in Google Doc, which is way against like everything that I have learned in marketing, in my marketing career. Like, everything needs to be well designed. You know what? My next lead magnet is going to be just a Google Doc. That's what it's going to be. You heard it here first. It's going to go live by the end of May. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And then you want to have a welcome sequence. And your welcome sequence can be anywhere from 1 to 5 emails. Make sure that it's like, hey, thanks for signing up. Here's who I am, blah, blah, blah. Maybe another one is like a resource, a blog, or something like that. Another one could be, a testimonial, kind of pushing them down that funnel to get them to work with you, right? Finally, if you have that lead magnet, you want to promote that everywhere. Everywhere. Your link in bio, your website pop-up, have a pinned post on your LinkedIn page, your Facebook page, and your Instagram profile. Like, mention it in every podcast, which, for me, like, sign up for my newsletter. That's, not very compelling. But I have done free workshops, and you can still get the recordings. In fact, I will put the link to my most recent workshop in the show notes in case you want to watch the re-recording. It was on Social Media Strategy Simplified. And, that'll put you on my email list, and you'll get any of my upcoming emails. So, to wrap up, anyone who says that email's dead is a liar. They're lying liars. It's not dead. It's underrated. Because for so long, people were like, oh, email marketing, spam. Like, no. Email is great. Email's great. There, I said it. You don't need to send a novel every time you email your list. You just have to have value. And you don't need a 12-step funnel to start. Like, you don't need a massive funnel. You just need one email, a helpful freebie, decent landing page, and to promote the heck out of it. So, if you want to start your newsletter and you need help doing so, schedule a strategy session with me and we can do it together. If you need to know what to say, all those kind of fun things, we can map that all out in a strategy session. If you have a newsletter and you love it and it's helpful, please DM me on Instagram. I want to sign up for it. I want to support my listeners. At Heidi Schmidt Creative on Instagram, send me a DM. If you love the podcast, one, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, all the fun things. They help us get found by other entrepreneurs who may need marketing help. And until next time, your message matters. Go forth, create amazing content that gets opened in the inbox and stops the scroll.